Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
Welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I'm James Locke. Today we're going to answer some of the Ask James questions of the day. This first question is from Margaret, who says, my husband and I retired last year, but we're realizing that all of our money is in our 401k and our IRA accounts. Everything is taxable. So whenever we withdraw money, we get taxed on it. All right, Margaret, now here's the thing. It's interesting, if you had 10 years of a working career ahead of you, it might be a little bit easier because you just stop putting money in the 401k or put just enough to get the match from your company, and then you start putting money into Roth IRAs. Now, in the last few years of your working life, you can, somewhat balance it out. Now, what you're saying, Margaret, is you go on past that, right? Like, that's not an opportunity for you anymore. So how might you do it? Well, the only real answer is through Roth IRA conversions. Now, the good news is about Roth IRA conversions is after you do it, which kind of rolls down the road from that, Roth IRA, you can take money out tax-free, right, from the Roth IRA down the road after it goes into the Roth, providing you follow certain stipulations. Now, the bad news, though, is that in order to get it into the Roth, you have to pay taxes now. So you're paying the tax earlier than you have to, maybe on a bigger amount of money, so down the road you can get tax-free benefit. What does that mean? Well, the first thing is, I would hope that hopefully you haven't taken Social Security yet. Because if you've taken Social Security, like we've talked about before, if you then do Roth conversions, you create more taxable income, which means more of your Social Security can be taxed. So often, if people are doing Roth conversions, they like to do it before they take Social Security. They like to do it before they come to the age of RMDs. So assuming you just retired, I'm going to assume that that's the case, then you still have an opportunity to do that. And how much do you want to convert? Well, first of all, you're probably not going to do it in one big Roth conversion in a single year. Almost no one does that. What they do is they plan out over several years between now and the time you have to take Social Security, which is no later than age 70, or you have to take RMDs, which is currently age 73, and they figure out how much they can take out between now and then to put a meaningful dent in that conversion, to take a meaningful amount of that tax-deferred money, like the 401k, and put it into tax-free Roth. But also then looking at where different tax brackets kick in, where IRMA kicks in, if you're collecting Medicare, and come up with a plan for how much you're going to convert over the next several years, and then try hard to stick to that plan. Another important factor to consider is where you'll get the money to pay the taxes on the conversions. Ideally, you want to pay those taxes from non-retirement accounts because you're using money from your IRA to pay conversion taxes, right? And so if you do it and take it out of the IRA, that diminishes the overall value of your retirement savings. Right now, if you have some cash reserves or taxable investment accounts, those would be better sources for converting the tax bill, right? And kind of paying that tax bill. It's also worth noting that kind of market downturns, while emotionally difficult, can actually present strategic opportunities for Roth conversions, right? Converting when your traditional IRA values are temporarily depressed means that you'll pay taxes on a smaller number, but the eventual recovery will happen and in your tax-free Roth account, right? This can be kind of a silver lining during volatile markets that many retirees don't consider. So it's not going to happen all at once. It's not a one-time thing. It's going to happen over time, ideally. But you need to have a plan, and now would be the time to do it. And you're probably not going to be as diversified according to tax type, as I like to say, as if you had started doing it in your earlier working years, but there's still something you can do to make the situation better. Margaret, thanks for an awesome question. As always, if you would like to send in your question like Margaret did, you can do so. You can email it to us at poolelock@poolelock.com. Moving on to our second question. It's from Frank, and Frank wants to know, why don't more financial advisors diversify their clients using these individual securities that you always talk about? Sure, Frank. Let's dive deeper into why more financial advisors don't diversify using individual securities, especially when focusing on retirement income with reduced risk and volatility. First, the issue of bandwidth is significant. Managing a diversified portfolio of individual securities requires extensive time and effort. Financial advisors who are responsible for macro-level financial planning, including goal setting, tax planning, estate planning, and insurance strategies, often find themselves stretched thin. They need to maintain ongoing client relations and ensure that each client's overall financial plan remains on track. This leaves limited time for the intensive research and analysis required to select and monitor individual stocks and bonds effectively. Second, there's a cost consideration. Hiring an outside manager to handle the selection and management of individual securities adds an additional layer of expense. These costs, though transparent, can sometimes be perceived as high by clients, or may impact the advisor's earnings if they choose to absorb some of these fees. This financial aspect can influence advisors to opt for more cost-effective solutions like ETFs, which provide broad market exposure with lower ongoing management requirements. Moreover, expertise plays a crucial role. Managing individual securities demands a specialized skill set focused on detailed financial analysis and market research. This differs significantly from the broader strategic planning and client relationship management skills that characterize effective financial advising. Advisors need to be adept at evaluating market conditions, right? Assessing risk profiles and making informed decisions on behalf of their clients. Now, for many advisors, striking a balance between these analytical demands and client-centric responsibilities can be challenging. In essence, Frank, it's akin to the distinction between different roles within professions, right? Just as there are different types of accountants, right? Some specialize in individual tax matters while others in corporate finances. Financial advisors also have varying specialties. The challenge lies in aligning these specialized skills with the diverse needs of clients, particularly those approaching retirement who prioritize income stability and lower portfolio volatility. Now, while ETFs and mutual funds offer simplicity and cost efficiency, they may not always align perfectly with the nuanced financial goals of retirees. Therefore, the key for advisors is to strike a balance between utilizing efficient investing vehicles like ETFs and incorporating individual securities where appropriate to tailor investment strategies more closely to client needs. Frank, I hope this sheds light on why individual securities may not be as prevalent in diversified portfolios managed by financial advisors. It's about finding the right balance of efficiency, expertise, and client-focused service to ensure optimal outcomes for retirement planning. Thanks for your question. It's essential to explore kind of these considerations when discussing your financial future. Great questions today. As always, if you would like to send in your question to us for us to answer, you can email them to us at poolelock@poolelock.com. If you like what you heard, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. I'm James Locke, your retirement income source. I'll see everyone next time.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend, let me make it clear.